moderator for this session. Please let's welcome the current president of the ADR Society, University of Nigeria, in the person of Maduabuchi, Senior Advocate of the University of Nigeria. Please, a round of applause. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Alright, please let's welcome the next person. In the person of Isabella Nwosu. Please, a round of applause for her. She comes up to the stage. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming. Let's welcome the next in the person of Uzoukwu. Please, a round of applause for me. We are not clapping, guys. Please, a round of applause for me. Thank you. Let's also welcome Makuochukwu, Onyeso, Senior Advocate of the University of Nigeria. A round of applause for me, please. Please, are we fine? Why are we not clapping now? Please, a round of applause for the panel. Okay, moving on. Let's have Stephanie Uzoukwu. Please, a round of applause for her. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for coming. Thank you, ma'am. Let's also have Amana Maduabuchi, popularly known as Sarizi. Thank you so much for coming. Please, a round of applause for him. Then finally, let's have Kenechukwu. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much. Please keep clapping until he comes out. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So the energy is a bit low, Amana energy is a bit. So this panel, we're going to dive deep, and it's going to be personal stories. So you're going to forgive me. It's going to be informal. It's going to be catchy. It's going to be related. So I'm going to need energy from you. So I'm going to say something, and I want you to say it back. Are we on the same team? Are we on the same team? So I'm going to give you a sentence, and just complete it. Are you ready? Are you ready? UNL is. UNL is. UNL is. Sorry for listening to people. I didn't mean it. Thank you very much. So please, if you have an open mind, I want you to take down the questions, engage with us as much as possible. This is L.L.B. Stories, and we're just trying to tell you how our 5-6 year journey has been. You know, our trials, tribulations, successes, failures, everything is on the table. So thank you very much. So we'll just start the conversation. I want it to be please, to the panelists, to all, I want it to be as open-minded as possible. Nothing is sitting under the sun, so please feel free to address it if it needs to be addressed. I would want to start with Kenechukwu. I want to start from the basics. You know, we've had 5 years here at UNL, 6 years to assistant. So I want to know, in your 6 years here, and we'll take this one, what has been your most memorable moments in your 6 years as a UNL student? Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kenechukwu. I've had a lot of memorable moments in this school. I would say my most memorable moment was, attending my first national tax debate, along with, I don't know where the title is, but I went on the national debate with a number of other people, and it was although we lost, it was an excellent learning opportunity. I think it's most memorable to me because I feel like that was what kick-started my growth to becoming who I am or who I am going to be eventually. So I think that's my most memorable moment.
Please, a round of applause. It's not easy. A round of applause. So we have with us the past president of Rotary Club. Please, a round of applause. And we're going to keep the same question. It's been 6 years. You've been involved in leadership, you've been involved in extracurricular, you've been involved in the academic side of it. What has been your most memorable moment as a UNN law student?
Hi everybody. Okay. I'm not sure because I have many, to be very honest. But as a law student, I think my most memorable moment has to be a week ago when I wrote my last paper. Yeah, actually, there's no greater thing than that. So I'm officially done, and that was it for me. But aside that, while I was president of Bertrand Club of the University of Nigeria in the campus, my most memorable moment, I have one memorable moment from that, and when I was installed as the president. That was memorable for me because it made me feel seen in the sense that after keeping your for something that you really love, when a group of people come out to choose you, I was literally chosen to occupy that position. And it was like I had no other option. I had to be the president of the club. It was amazing, I have to say. So that was really good.
And just so that we were the first female president as well.
Yes, I was the first.
Please, a round of applause. So, Makuochukwu, it's the same question. The most memorable moment as you are in those students.
Hello, everybody. My most memorable moment has to be, I think when I feel the method. I don't know why everybody's most memorable moment is a good thing. I don't know why, I think when I feel the method, it was like, let me say, a new dawn. I don't know, I've never failed before. Never. Because all my life has been, let me use the word journalism. I've never failed. Even in my former department, I never read and I never failed. So me failing, I was like, no more. You should tell me this. You should tell me. So that's my most memorable moment. I felt if I did not fail the method, there's nothing that will make me not to fail thoughts. There's nothing that will make me not fail commercial law. There's nothing that will make me not to drop out. So I think it has to be my most memorable moment. That's it.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Actually, talking about my most memorable moment, I would say it was in the first year. It is from the political angle. As a first year student, trying to juggle academics and student politics. I remember then I was on my bow tie and these two official with waistcoat, and I was contesting for Dr. House of Assembly. So, I mean, let's tell everyone here, remember this, that she comes to class, every morning I was saying this nugget about, the next name was Sweet MPU. And so when the election held, I was very shocked that evening when I was announced highest in my class. So I felt like, this is I was doing, like, it was having this impact and everything. So that was the first memory. The second one was in second semester when I wrote law first exam. Actually, why would I forget that doing this video? I actually started here. And that was the first time I would meet for the law exam, and on getting to the exam hall, just look at my village people. Just said, we are here for you. I forgot all the cases, all the sections. Anything I was writing law was on the exam with this principle. And this man So I happened to be the supervisor, the invigilator. And I was in the front seat and I was scared because I don't know, the feeling is very, very painful. And I was feeling like that was going to be my best end in the upper court. But when the result came out, it was not even easy. And I was very, very shocked. So that's kind of my second memory for me. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. On my own part, I would say that my most memorable moment as a law student of the University of Nigeria was in my third year. My third year, I won't forget that particular year because of the stress I had to go through. In my third year, I was the class rep, at the same time the hall governor of my hostel. And I also had a business I managed, Llb Stores. So the whole thing we were like...
It's a round of applause, it's not easy.
Yes, but despite all the stress I had to go through, I had to develop means of survival. It was then that I came up with my policy of no phone calls beyond 10 p.m. If it's just 10 p.m., I don't take any phone call again except WhatsApp chats and other things. And it helped me to cope, it helped me to manage the stress. But it's memorable because at a point in time I thought I would break down entirely. There was hardly a time I would sleep beyond 5 hours every night because you have to attend to all the duties and make sure at least you are average in all. So, but it's part of the thing that has made me be where I am today. And I thank God for passing through that furnace that has transformed me. I can now, to some extent, endure stress, and it was a good one.
Thank you very much. Please, a round of applause.
Okay, you have to mention. So I had a lot of memorable moments, but then I would say, like, the moment that made me happy was when I got into the NHS Scholars Program. Although it didn't live up to our expectations. But it made me happy because that period was filled with a lot of self-doubts. I doubted myself a lot. Because many people were applying, many heavyweights. And they were all applying. I was like, am I good enough? This person that is applying, can I get it? Those kind of questions. So I applied a day to the deadline. I just decided to put myself, and that was the first time I was actually putting myself out there like that. But I just made that decision to put myself out there. So it was a moment of self-doubt. When I got into the program, it just made me feel like, okay, I'm enough. Like my efforts are actually being seen. I'm not wasting my time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I would want to indulge the panel. We have one of us, Kenechukwu, who would have to leave to attend an emergency. So I would want to just get a few words out of him so we can hear it. After that, we dive deep into the L.L.B stories. Do I have a permission of the panel, please? Thank you very much. So, Ken, the question is to you. You're my very good friend. And I think it is important to know that one thing I admire about you is your ambition. You know, people want to stop at the point where they feel, okay, that this is where I'm going to, but you feel the need, you feel the urge to press forward. So I want you to tell us, please, even though I'm prompting, we would have to get this juice from you before you leave. Goldman Sachs. That's it. Goldman Sachs. So just if you can walk us through how was the whole process, the interview, what even made you think yourself it's possible? Because please, I hope you know this. We're not just going against the best teams in Nigeria, in Africa as well. And they select about 10 persons, 5 persons in the whole of Africa. And it's part of the 2021 cohort. It's not easy. Please, a round of applause. So, can you please walk us through how was it and what has it done for you?
Okay, the craziest part of this is that I would not have gotten to go Versace from the top. And
And at the end of the day, I feel like apart from you need to believe yourself, die. That's the first thing. Like you need to believe in your best friend. Yes, you need to believe in what you are made of. And at the same time, you need to have people who believe in you as much. I was telling you that I applied for the SARS twice. I will never forget that day. We were coming back from Lagos to after the last national tax debate. And we were in the cafeteria, and that was telling me guy apply for this thing. And that was the deadline day. I know that stopped me from there to the airport. And then I applied. And I didn't think I would get in. Then I did a technical assessment, which is very stressful. So you do mathematics, logic, English. It's tough. You think you know English until you write IELTS standard English. And you know you're not that good at English. And it was crazy. I don't even know maths. So I don't know how I passed that. And I'm not thinking that I don't think I was going to get in. And then they called me for the interview stages. There were 3 interviews. So I did the first interview, second interview. And then they sent me an email by 11:30 p.m. one night. Still going back to that. Which is why I feel like beyond being who you are, beyond being a bad guy as normal, you need friends that can turn up for you at that moment. Actually, I mean, we don't talk often, but when it counts, she will show up. And I think that's what matters. I texted him by 11:30 p.m. I didn't even call him. I texted him. He texted me. I was like, bro, how far? These people are asking for a new CV. So that helped me redraft my CV in 15 minutes. I sent it back. And I sent it to the site. And then they now called me for the 10th interview. And then I finished the 10th interview. And then it was, so like, there are different pipelines going to Goldman Sachs. So I went through SEO Africa. So the founder of SAUN Africa got on the call with me. She was the one interviewing me because she has a law background. And I honestly feel like that's the toughest interview I've had in my life. It was accurately 1 hour. It was 1 hour of questions. Like the questions range from basic finance to commercial awareness. Commercial awareness means your understanding of current affairs, financial industry, the department you're going to. And what makes you deem yourself worthy to even be there in the first place? You realize that when the stakes get higher and you're now competing at an international level, it is a totally different ballgame from what you're used to. Nobody's going to ask you what motivates you. People are going to ask you why you believe in yourself enough to even want to be in this room. And there are some questions that require introspection, meaning you have to first of all know yourself, know your strengths, and know how to glorify your weaknesses. And I would not lie, beyond my daily dedication to my craft, friends push you in a way that I cannot explain. Let me give you an example. Every year, probably from first year to fourth year, I will be in bed that I will be eating, and then maybe the baby will come to bed that will be eating, and then maybe we'll talk at the table, and then we'll eat, and then we'll discuss for over 2-3 hours. What were we talking about? Nigerian law firms. What are we talking about? Investment banks. Crazy things that obsess us. Things we had no business talking about at that time. And we'll just tell ourselves that, okay, this is how I do this, this is how I do this, how I do this. We were constantly daring to dream and believed in each other at the same time. And I don't know, people may not believe that there's power in the tongue, but there's a lot. And the things you people speak into existence by having random conversations. You think you're just bantering, talking about when I'm going to be here, when I'm going to be there. And you keep doing it and you keep pushing yourself, and then God aligns you there. Like if you look at the Bible in Ephesians, they will tell you that God has already blessed us, meaning it's already in the past tense. So the blessing is already there. It's not that He's going to come down and bless you. The blessing is already there. Now, what you're working to do is to ensure that your own hard work makes you meet the blessing where it is at. And that your friends, people around you push you there as well. Because it is already there. What is stopping you is you. You need daily conscious effort. You don't become like Muta, or maybe like me, like by slacking off. You need to do it every single day. You need to make it part of your lifestyle. Read a newsletter, listen to a podcast, work on a problem, be a practical problem solver on a daily basis. When you start applying for Goldman Sachs and the rest, they could ask you a question like, what is the average consumption of coffee in all of Nigeria in a year? There is no way you're going to know the answer to that question. But what they're trying to test is your analytical thinking. Your answer may be wrong, but they want to see your process. And that's now what makes you a problem solver. So you see that maybe IRAP is also business after all. Because it teaches you how to think structurally. And that's what they want at the end of the day. To not take too much of their time. Goldman was a blast. But if there's anything I want you to take away from here, beyond your individual hard work, surround yourself with people that have the attributes that you would want to emulate. And honestly, with the people you have around you and the hard work you put in daily and your belief in God, I don't think there's anything you can't do.
Please, around the campus, please. So just to summarize what he's saying, you're as important, or rather your progress would reflect the progress of everyone around you. You know, someone said, and I think it's an actor, Morgan Freeman, if you know him, that at a time in his career when the likes of Denzel Washington, Wesley Snipes were making it to the big stage, and he was then behind. So someone asked him, were you jealous that your friends are going far, and the same friends you ate with, you slept with in the same bed, and are going farther than you? He said, no, because if my friends are doing it, this and next time. So that is the mindset you have to have when you're talking about the people you want around you. You want people who are goal-oriented, you want people who have the same goals as you and who pursue the same methods as you, so that you can eventually have the support system to end up with. So, before I would want to ask, final question for you. What is the mindset and philosophy of use to approach this? So, you know, people sometimes mistake in a competition, they have resources, so, for example, if you got an A because expresses it in and that's why one of the reasons I'm doing it is so essentially, what is the mindset and what's the philosophy we need to understand? Because everyone wants to advance, everyone wants to advance academically, but at the end of the day, what's the to say with global competence? You don't do it. So can you just give us before we go? How do we approach this? Is it the content we take in? We reevaluate our values? How do we approach this mindset towards achieving success?
Okay, I think I should start by saying grades are very important. I probably didn't have the best of grades. Despite the fact that I'm able to do all these crazy things, it took me 3 times the amount of work that some of the grades you have. So I think the first thing I would say is please, if you can have 4.0, 4.5, have it at bed. Because it will get you through the door, and then your competence will take you to the next level. But if your grades are not as good, you need to be outstanding from the first place, so that nobody even cares what you left school with. So like, if you're already at the point where it seems like you may not be able to help your grades that much, I think it's important for you to understand you need to work 10 times as hard as anyone else. But if you are in a position to improve your grades, if you're in your first year, your second year, please don't be down, I am begging you. Because when you get to the stage of where you are, there are some points where, like for example, if you wanted to go to Oxford, for example, and you wanted to do a master's in energy systems, you cannot do a master's in energy systems without a first class. Like you can ask because I wanted you to do it. So like you cannot access some certain opportunities unless you are academically up there. But at the same time, do not allow maybe the fact you're not academically up there stop you. As regards the mindset, I keep saying it has to be daily conscious effort. Like this thing that Maduabuchi says, magic happens when passion meets opportunity. You need to be passionate as hell about what you're trying to do. And my own mentality, I don't know, I copy a lot of people, but like, mentality I adopt is Kobe zone. Like, I don't know how many people here watch basketball or follow Kobe Bryant, but like the Mamba mentality is what motivates me every single day. Mamba mentality is basically that you need to be able to, as you start your personal development, shut down your emotions and switch on your logic and perseverance every single day. That means if you wake up and you decide that you don't feel like reading today, you need to read despite the fact of how you feel. You need to have a daily consciousness. You need to be ahead of the curve so badly that your peers cannot even understand what you're talking about in the first place. Your biggest problem should be that if I start talking to these people about what I'm doing, they will not be able to comprehend. And then you now have to shift yourself to a new circle of people that can comprehend exactly what it is you're talking about. you need to be thinking in terms of, I'm not fighting with anybody here. I'm fighting with being a better version of myself than I am today. And that is crazy, and that is hard, but it is doable. You need to find what sets your soul on fire at any particular point in time. At the time, for me, it was poetry. At another time, it was tax. At another time, it was finance. Maybe now it's crypto. Tomorrow, it's something else. But you need to find out what makes me happy. And am I willing to lay down and sacrifice everything for it? Because you're going to sacrifice everything for it. My classmates I had that the best grades. They never took any days off. It wasn't a joke, it wasn't a part-time thing. They dedicated their lives to it. The fact that I'm able to get into some certain places, I dedicate every single day of my life. Today I've listened to like 3 podcasts about crypto and finance. Averagely in a day, I consume about 6 hours of content. I may not read it, I may listen to it. I may work on a case study before the end of the day as problem solving. I'm going to constantly be doing something so that when me and you meet at that competitive level, I'm miles ahead of you. So you need to work so that anyone that comes face to face with you in a competitive setting for a job role, you believe in yourself that much. Let me give you an example. Currently, I have a job, like I'm already full-time employed before I left school. And when they were making applications for my current job as a governance analyst with the company, there were over 560 applicants. These are non-Nigerians. And then there were only about 6 Nigerians that applied. So out of 560 applicants, including people who went to Ivy League schools, they only picked 2 of us, and I was one of them. The reason that happens is because of the amount of years of preparation it took. So when I got to the front of the interviewers, there was no doubt in their mind that I was the person, like I was that guy. You need to be that guy, you need to be that girl at every point in your life. So that when opportunity meets you, there's no flinching, there's no second guessing, there's no wait, let me come. I'll be back here in a moment or 2. You need to be ever ready, and that takes daily conscious effort, every single day. So my idea is work it into your program, give what you love, daily conscious effort. If you want to have a first class, read every single day. Solve past questions as much as you can. If you want to work in Goldman Sachs, you should be listening to financial news. The Wall Street Journal should be your best friend. If you want to learn how to code, you should be writing programming languages every single day. Give what you love utmost dedication and watch it pay off. Please, a round of applause. A round of applause.
So please, a round of applause as we leave this stage. Thank you very much. Thank you. So just to give a summary, the mentality and the mindset towards success is that you have to dedicate every single day to it. And while that being said, you have to understand that it is the work you put in that will determine the result. So there is no slacking off. When he told me that was last year, that he got into the Goldman Sachs program, nothing but joy for me, for him, because we've always said to ourselves, both from first year, second year, that these are the things we want. And when you see these things coming into reality, I mean, what else but joy? What else to as a certification that all your hard work is finally paying off? So please, one more time, a round of applause for Kenechukwu. So now, back to the panel, L.L.B. Stories. We are saying, from this background that we are now, no, not everyone might have that same drive. Not everyone might have that same gusto, to use that word. But, there are times where you feel like, and I'm sure everyone here, once in a while, you feel like that. You feel like, you're not living up to your potential. You feel like the grades you're seeing, they're not a reflection of the person you are, the person you can be. And not just in academic life, also in other aspects of your life, you feel that you're not getting exceeded. So I want to ask the panel now, I want to start from Isabella. So did you ever feel like quitting in your time in UNL? When was it? When especially?
Yes. Like capital letter Y yes. In fact, I almost didn't get here. That's the funny thing. When I mean almost, I mean my legs. I wasn't having it. It's all congratulations. You're graduating. But before, at the beginning, I started off as then they said we were not students. I did prepare to get here. When I wrote my first jam, they gave me master, because the grade wasn't so all that. Then they're still writing. I think that was last year we had to write what's it called after jam? Post UTM, like in paper. So I came to UNM with my dad. Yeah. So it wasn't high enough apparently, and I was given mascot. This was in 2015. So if I had taken mascot in 2015, I would have been out of this vicinity in 20. Really, that would have been a whole different story. But I did not, because people that know me, I'm a very argumentative person. I love to argue. I love to exchange ideas. Like, I could lead you on in an argument for hours, and I would just be smiling. I would be very angry, very pissed, and all that. That's the kind of person I am. So I knew that, and aside that, I love to help people. I actually love to help people. I love to, somehow, I always help people. Like, people come to me with issues, and I talk, and all of a sudden they are fine, and So I was like, what way to do this in a more cogent way, like in a way that I could step into a room and I would be accorded the level of respect, attention that I deserve. And so I fought for discourse. So I had to go through a year in UNM. It was terrible. So I gave up, actually. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to go to Unilag and do something, maybe fashion or something, and I'm not doing this. My dad begged me, promised me the whole world just to get me here. And I came here, and I was intrigued. From the first day I stepped my feet into this faculty, I was so intrigued. I don't know why, I just wanted to know more. I wanted to understand what was happening, I had this, what's it called? I just wanted to know, like, what's happening here, then you find someone like a mentor. He was in final year when I was in first year. And he was always telling me, oh, do this, do that, you're the face of the faculty, oh, run for Miss Bosa when I was first year. But, it was one of the ways that I got to pass through school and let school pass through you. That was the first time I really knew that I didn't just want to be a regular student. I wanted to be something more. I knew who I was. It's very important to know who you are as a person. Like, figure out the person that you are. Know yourself, otherwise the world is going to gain control over you and just lose you, know yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Before someone comes and tells you that, oh, you can't do this thing, know that you cannot do this thing by yourself. Don't let anyone tell you. You already know. And that should direct you. Lead you to where the previous panelist said, your passion should lead you. So now, getting into this, into law faculty, I have grown greatly, immense. I have grown from I was in my first year, all different. I'm literally seeing new parts of myself, And don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. You might fail. Look like, what more could happen? Like, if you fail, what more could happen? What will happen? When you think about it, you won't die. No one will die, You learn, be a learning. You fail at something, it should give you more drive to do more. I'm someone that I could literally, sometimes I wake up and I don't want to do anything. Like, I feel so down. Like, I feel like I'm not doing enough. Sometimes I feel like it's not enough. And literally, I could have every single thing I want. Let me not say want. I could have every single thing I need. But I'm still not okay with it. Instead of making it a negative thing, I turn it into something positive. I turn it into motivation. I turn it into, oh, what can I do? What more can I do? Opa will say, even though you are very successful, even though you have 20 businesses, you could have 21, you could have 25, don't stop. just keep doing more. Because you are literally an embodiment of God on this earth. There is nothing, there's nothing you cannot do. And even when you might feel like, or you see that you actually can't do it, my dear, wing it. You should just wing it. Walk into every room, own the room. Like, when people see you, even when you're sure that you are gone, who you are, regardless, even when you don't have anything. I literally might not have anything. But they won't believe. I don't know now that I don't have anything. All I have to do now is stand. I have everything. Just wing it till you can't wing it anymore. Always remember that God has a very beautiful plan for you. Like, the plan God has for you is so beautiful. All you have to do is just keep every day, be intentional. Be intentional about every second, every minute. Know that this is what I want to achieve. I want to do this. And even when you might achieve that, it's fine, you know. What could you have to do for me? I forgot the question you asked me. I've been rambling, I'm very sorry. Yes, like I said, I wanted to quit at the and I started I say that because I literally could not, I might not have been here. All of you here might have been there would have never been a first female president of Uzoukwu. I've never been, because I would not have been here. Because I know that I was always supposed to be the first female president of Uzoukwu. It was always my destiny. No one can change that. Even when I did not know. You get me? You get what I'm trying to say? So like, even when you want to quit, you know, even giving up, very important. And a lot of time, let me bring you back to the law faculty. A lot of times, remember when I wrote third second semester, we had this question that filled the first page of our question paper. One question was lost in that hole. Like, see, the fact that I didn't is gone. Because when I mean lost, I was lost. But just don't give up. Just don't give up. Always believe that at the end of this dark tunnel, I'm going to come out very well. At the end of this problem, this struggle, I'm going to be okay. Believe that you're going to be okay. Be okay.
Is there a moment before we're eating together with each other? Is there a time, maybe a result, someone said something, or maybe had an experience like
something like that. I never thought of it. Never. So this is first, I was not here. I was in Suga, I was in history. I never wanted to be there. I always wanted to be here.
Secondly, I thought of where I was coming from. If I had read history, having it's not something I'm arguing. I know why I came here. I thought about the prospects and everything. I'm not saying if I read law, I will not be hungry. I'm saying the chances of me being hungry here is low. So, I don't see any reason, talking personally about it, I don't see any reason why I have this foresight, this is what I want to do. Of course, there must be bumps in the road. And I'm the kind of person that takes life how it is. I'm a big realist. I don't overthink a lot of things. I fail. I'm not the best, I'm not the last. I'm not even other people fail. And I'm also thinking of my family, people when they look up to me. So I must be nothing made me think of. Even when I feel evil mental, just look at my eyes to my father, on my own country, or nothing. I never.
I want to very question now. We've spent 5 years, 6 years because of Masonia, no 21 cents and getting no 22. So the question now is, because we're changing the narrative now, the question now is, we will all have mentors. Some mentors are unspoken. Someone might just come and be like, hey, you do this. So you might need the person for advice occasionally. The person, you might not call the person your mentor. But to you, the person is like a father figure or a mother figure. So the next question is, what is the best piece of advice you received in your stay here?
Oh, well, thank you very much. Over the years, one thing I would say that has kept me going is, right from first year, just like mentors, I've always tried to keep that relationship with senior colleagues very well, but one thing one of my mentors said back then is, Kingsley Makuochukwu, always be intentional. Because everything you want to do, always be intentional. And in part, I had a senior colleague then that's currently a big lawyer now. We always say when we are conversing that, for everything that every woman embarks upon, that they leave behind it. So, the word that always got to me over the years is being intentional. And that's why when I found myself in an interview room, and they asked me to tell us about yourself, one of the lines that the person that interview will always hear from me is, I'm an individual who believes in being intentional. And that's something that has kept me going. So you can never see me embarking on something without a reason. No. So that's something I would say over the years with my mentor.
There's a round of applause. So the same question, what was the best piece of advice you received in your 5 years stay at Llb?
Okay, the advice that kept me all through the 5 years should be the advice my colleague gave me before I came to this school. I taught briefly in a secondary school when I left secondary school in 2013. And I had colleagues who were graduates of UNN. I was the only O-level teacher in that school then. So he told me that he knows Mr. Rizzi. I've been answering to them since primary 6. Yes. So he told me that I know you're smart, but there is something I want you to understand. Don't sacrifice everything on the altar of academics. When you get there, try and make friends. If you can start a business, start one. He was here, but later dropped out due to finance. So he used his life as an example. He told me, growing up, I was like you, very intelligent. I got admission to study law, and along the line, finance couldn't let me finish. I had to step down to English and literary studies. And then Because I wanted the first class, I didn't make friends. I was a triangular student in his words. And then see where it has landed me. In this school, then he was being paid 15,000 a month. And he was teaching 2 subjects. So he told me, make friends. If you can make first class, good. If you can be the best in your class academically, be good. But make sure you make friends and at the same time start something because it is hard outside here. So coming inside the school, I took that advice and it had actually helped me to sustain myself and also to build a few businesses I have built, although I had to sacrifice my academics a bit. And then the advice helped me. I wanted to drop out in final year, but because of my friends, in the person of Onyeso and Uzoukwu, they advised me, you have come a long way, finish up. It's remaining few months. And then here we are, successfully defended our project and then waiting for the graduation list. So I think I should give you the same advice. It is good to know, but please don't sacrifice your friendship on the altar of academic excellence. When you get out of here, you can have a first class and not get a job. But the friends you make now, they are the ones that will set you on the pedestal. They are the connection you and your children will have at the later points in life. Don't belittle anybody. Don't look down at anybody. Most times, those people you feel are at the bottom of your class might be the ones that will offer you a job tomorrow. There is no straight up formula to life. Carry everybody along, do what you can do, put in your best, and whatever decision you decide to take as your life path in life, please focus on it and be ready to accept the consequences. If you want to sacrifice a bit of academics, know that the work will be double for you. The life of an entrepreneur is not easy. It's double. It's not something you cram formulas and then begin to apply it. You have to think at every time on how to navigate. So this is what I would say helps me and it keeps me going. If you apply it in your own life, I think it will help you too. Thank you.
It's a round of applause for you. So before we continue, I will say that look, it's not easy because I know Mr. Rizzi, our one-time class rep, which age with one class, one-time presidential aspirant, CEO of Llb Stores, CEO of Amana and Properties Real Estate Firm. So it's not easy combining all these things. And I think the key focus today, we're talking about, the first one, talking about balance. And also, in our own way, we also speak about balance and not letting one side suffer due to another that you're being dedicated to. So we'll go over to Steph, current Vice President of the ADR Society. So Steph, the same question applies. What is the best piece of advice you've received as a UNN law student?
Okay, I think for me, the best advice I received was actually to pursue academic excellence. Because in my first year, it was one, I can't remember most of my first year because it was wow. Like, I don't even know, a whole lot was happening. So I'm a social person naturally. So if I don't create that balance, I'll end up chasing friends and then leave chasing my academics. So I got that advice at the beginning of my second year to actually calm down and focus on your goals. Because it's very important to create a balance here, but do not let your academics suffer. Because I feel like no matter what you're doing, whether it's business or whatever it is, it's always best for you to leave one stage of your life and then pursue the next. Because if you don't focus on your academics, you end up, God forbid, you have to carry over, and then you stay here for years, you're still here. You're not moving forward, despite the fact that you have a business that you're running or something like that. So it's always important to create that balance. And that was the advice that they gave me. I should always create that balance. See, my academics should not suffer at all, because if suffers. You won't leave this stage of life. No matter what you're doing, whether it's business or even if you're doing so well, there's always something holding you back, and that's that degree that you not acquired from here. So whether it is, and another thing I would say is, everybody you know what you're pursuing, so you know the advice that you want. Some people, like, we've given different advice. I've said pursue academic excellence. They have said make sure you pursue friends, and then create a balance. Don't just ignore everything. So you should know what you want, and then based on what you want or what you're heading for, then you should know the kind of advice that you should take for yourself. I think that's what I can say on that.
It's a round of applause. So just to bring to the attention of the audience, we're about to round up. So before we ask the final question, if you have questions for any member of the panel, please write them down. After we're done with the final questions, the mic will come to you so you can ask them. Thank you very much. So now we are rounding up. I want to take a more didactic approach to this. Like, you've spent 5 years, 6 years actually. You've got experience, you've got the knowledge, you've got the potential. Now you're about to turn your potential to results. But you're more informed than you were in your first year. So the person in first year cannot compare to the person sitting here. There is a gap. So knowing what you know now, if you are given a time capsule, go back and talk to yourself in first year. You have 2 minutes. What would you tell yourself? What would you tell yourself?
Before I start, I think there's this fear. It happened to us. It's happened to everybody here. This fear of when you come into law, the first thing in your mind is, I can argue. And I know how to talk. Then they ask you, how will you argue in court? Is this what you do in court? Even in your chambers, they do it. I want to tell everybody here something. Law is very, very fast. And I think we were among the first sets that found that. I think we and the other set. Law is very fast, very, very fast to the extent that we all know people that they've not gone to court since they were called to bar for their matrimony. I was surprised about something. I wrote my project. I think some people saw my topic and they were very surprised. Very, very surprised. Including people in the panel. I feel, I don't know, but I'm speaking with the knowledge I have. I feel I'm the first person to write a project in sports law. I feel. One of the problems, I stand to be corrected. And so many people have met me concerning sports law. So many people have met you, other people, that tech law, space law. Law is very, very fast. If every one of us can change our mentality of that argument, I swear it's going to help us all. I was about to defend my project. I was very relaxed. Why? Even if you wake me up now, tomorrow morning, ask me anything on sports law. I don't have to know it in total. I have the knowledge. I don't want to make this personal. I have to mention names. If you wake Chidera up, ask him anything about power. Anything for them to power. So, my advice is this. If everyone has that mentality from first year, I started internships in normal law firms. But the kind of jobs I've done from 4th year till now, just for only sports law alone. Imagine that I channeled that energy from first year. Imagine he had channeled that energy from first year. His CV will be very fast, and the CV, you sieve out all this, the whole document, and all those things, you sieve it out and give all these ones. So if everybody here can do that, because I'm very sure 80% of people here don't want to do that argument show. There's fashion law, there's entertainment, there are plenty of things. So if from first year, second year, third year, let's say 10 people from here, from first year, start interning in, let me say the blog, start interning in sports visitors, start interning in energy law firms, like you're more specific. It makes you have a purpose, a quote. You know what you're doing. I like using Lota as an example. Lota scammed all of us. I'll say the truth. Lota scammed all of us. And he knows why I'm saying it. Lota scammed all of us. From first year, he has had a purpose. And he was channeling that purpose. Me, I was stupidly doing, you can be a lawyer, you can be working in SAUN. Obina is an entertainment lawyer. I can count how many times I've seen him in suit. I can count how many times with my fingers I've seen him in suit. If we can have that purpose, this is what I want to do. He said there are opportunities. There are opportunities. Have friends that will link you to these opportunities. There are opportunities. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. When Kenechukwu was applying for Goldman Sachs, we were all just saying, oh, he can't get it, but we knew that he would get it. Don't be scared. Some of you here can work in mind. Some of you here can work in plenty places. Even as a second year in there, you can do it. So make nobody here and there. Just channel that purpose. Because you really love it. That was the mistake we all made. Nobody wants to just agree to, but we make it. So channel it and to help you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, we're still on the same question. With what you know now, someone said the quotes of the shares it's a rise. So, what and you yesterday, can't affect what I'll do tomorrow. But now, what I do now is I go back to the so we're just saying, if you need to solve the question, what's the words you can tell yourself? Just for example, you need to
So if I could go back in time and give myself an advice or a couple of advices, I would start by saying be intentional. It's very, very important to be intentional. People don't understand how important it is to be intentional. Being intentional is, you might not even know that you are doing it, When you wake up in the morning, you think, meditate, what do I want to do today? What do I want to achieve? If I do this, what's going to be the result? Do you understand? Be very intentional and be very driven. Be driven in the sense that you know where you want to get to. Even if it might change, as the journey goes. But you have a vision, you have somewhere that you're trying to get to. It's very important because that's going to direct you. It's going to help you see the way all the noise and all the excesses. There are a lot of excesses. Imagine being in a classroom, over 300 people, 400 people. Imagine everyone having their individual thoughts, everyone having to come together in the same space. You have to be very, very, very intentional. Know who you are. Don't let anyone come and tell you, oh, this is what you should. Know who you are, and at the end of the day, all of us here now we're saying, oh, we wish we had known, we wish we had known. Some of us here might still end up seeing us in court tomorrow for some reason or the other, even though it's not really what we want. But then just be intentional in the sense that you know where you're trying to get to. Be very realistic as well. Be passionate about everything you do. Do what you love. That's why I tell people that most of some of the successful people in the world are people that actually do what they love to do. Look at footballers, look at how happy they are on the pitch, they are playing every single time, they are running up and down. They know that they're going to get their money. Do you understand? Either way, even if they don't play, they will get their money. But they want to because there's this passion, you understand? Be very, very passion driven. Let your passion take you to places and be very confident in yourself. Be very diligent as well. Be smart. Smart in the sense that you're not just brilliant. You know where the sections are, you know what the sections are saying. Now be smart in the sense that you shouldn't be lacking behind. Know the level, know the standard. where the world has put it, the standard that the world requires, and try to do better than that standard. Try to go beyond that standard. Be that person that even when you're not there, people are calling you because they know that you have something to impute. Because even though you might not have so much experience, I mean, Lotte has always been this person, I think for almost all of us, Lotte has been this person that sometimes he's not even in school. I'm sorry to cast you, Lotte. Sometimes he's not in school, he doesn't come to, sometimes you can be in class that way, you won't see Lotte. But when the result comes out, you will know that he knew what he was doing when he was going to school. Do you get? Be very intentional. It's so important. Like, be very, very, very intentional. And also, be very, very, very prayerful. Like, be very prayerful. I am a living testimony that sometimes, honestly, I read and I get into the hall and I'm blank. Like pressure. I'm blank. When I mean blank, that's emphasis on the K and the full stop. I'm blank. But somehow God does it that the little you write would go a long way. You know, when we were small, we always hear the stories of when you go into the exam hall, you go and write the Psalm 23, even though you don't know what to write Psalm 23, when you come out, you see 8, all this kind of thing. You know, it's funny, it's like a joke. But I am sure that there are some people in this vicinity here now that they in their answers to the probably wrote one kind of letter to their lecturer, please, my mother died, my father, you know? You don't know. Like, there is no, I can tell you, there's no procedure to like, there is no procedure, like there is no do this when you wake up tomorrow, do this when you wake up. Like, there might be, but trust me, doing you, staying true to yourself will go farther than whatever procedure anyone gives to you. Know that you know, like, where I'm heading to is good, is beautiful. Focus on that. Just focus on that. Forget everything. Even when you, especially when you fail, oh my God, it's so important. Especially when you fail, you have to remember that before I failed, I had a vision. Remember that God has something good for me at the end of the day. Like, this failure is because I have something bigger coming. This failure is just going to teach me. This failure is going to motivate me to do more. This failure is going to make me better. And with that, you will see that everything negative, like people can be crying around me today. People can be checking their results today. And I would just be like this, like, we're doing our defense the other day. I was in the panel. We had the same panel. I literally could not open my work. I couldn't open it to look at anything because I knew that if I had done that, I would have somehow killed the morale I had in me. I walked into that place and I can tell you, they didn't ask me any question about my work. It was all God for my defense. It was just God. That's all I can say. It was God. And I came out and I've been so happy, so excited. Like, it was beautiful. I almost cried because I was like, how did this happen? I just knew before getting there that it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Like, everything is going to be fine. At the end of the day, you're in first year, you're in second year, third, legal method, criminal law, constitutional, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be fine.
So please, we are being told that our time is up, but we shall finish. So briefly as well, what would you tell yourself in first year, briefly?
Okay, I think my colleagues have actually developed my answer in the way. However, over the years I would say that I've grown, but what I would tell myself as a graduating student is, why did my interest in finance not come up as a first year student? Because for now, the question we're going to ask for now about intentionality, and I mentioned I've been about the mental, I picked on the word intentionality. Because my interest in finance started to fall up in my third year. And that was the first time, third year ending, that was the first time I did my short school and tax. What I didn't get in and everything. But if I was to go back to first year, I know sometimes when you come into first year, you're not supposed to get your head without a lot of things. But I think I would have actually gone further than I am now, talking as finance enthusiast and everything. I know I've done some things, but I still feel that you never reach anywhere, that kind of thing. So what I would tell myself as a first year student is, why didn't your eyes open up to this aspect? So that's the major thing I would tell them. And again, I would tell myself, okay, I came into this school with a bad mindset, oh, I didn't want to first class. That's a very, very bad mindset. I don't want to first class. I just want a 4.0 and I'm okay. And it's very weird actually. And over the years, I think I'll still have the first year, I'll correct it, that's just the truth. Because going to law school now, I think I'm telling myself that someone, you deny yourself of the potential that you had and settling for basic. So why? So these are the two things I'll tell myself going back as a first year student. Thank you very much.
It's a round of applause. So the second question, what would you tell yourself knowing what you know?
I think I have two advice to my first year self. Just two. The first one is I would have advised myself not to make enemies for politicians.
It's a round of applause.
You know, in first year, being a passionate person, I had my candidates, I supported them wholeheartedly, and because of that, I made enemies for myself, not on behalf of the candidates, because I feel there is something students don't understand. Even though I know at this point there may not be enough first year or any first year here, but there is still time. You could still make a few more enemies for yourself in the classes you have. Now the point is that most of the times these politicians are friends. They are from the same class. They would make up immediately after the election and they are friends. Just like the three of us that we are here today, Justice has left. But Junta is still here. We ran for presidency, we are friends, we are cool, we chat all the time, but some people that supported us individually don't talk to each other. So that's a very bad thing that I think every student should work on. Yes, you support your candidates, but please don't make enemies. That's the first advice. The second advice is that I would have advised myself to pay a little more attention to studies. Yes, I didn't have a bad time here. I can say I'm a gifted student when it comes to that. From my first year to final year, second semester, I had always read my books 2 weeks to the exam, sometimes a week. So, it was not bad, although that made me fail trust second semester. So I wrote trust second semester. And just like my co-panelists had said, we all came into the school with the same ideology. We are not here to make first class. Just to one, you understand. But at a point in time, you understand that you may not need a certain thing at this point, but tomorrow, the breeze of life will push you to where and what you said you would not partake in. So it's always good. I could have put more time, although it's not, I don't regret it entirely, because I still achieved in other aspects. And the goal of everything in life, why you're here and why you go out to hustle, is to make money. So that's the common denominator. But try as much as possible to actually channel all your energies appropriately into the different things you want to achieve as a student here. Be average, at least be average in everything, and it will help you outside here. Thank you very much.
Okay, for me, I already said that my first year was a little rocky. So if I was to go back on that first day, I would have put in more effort. Because going forward, you find out that first year is actually easiest year. It may not be easy, you may be looking hard if you're in first year, but when you progress, you find out that first year is actually very easy. It's the easiest year. So I would have gone back and built that foundation. It's always good to have a strong foundation. So even if you experience maybe some issues or rocky roads going forward, that foundation you build for yourself will be able to keep you standing very, very strong. But then the beautiful thing about the journey is that it's never too late to start. So even if your first year was not so good, just like me, you can start in any other year. Start in your second year, start in your third year, not in your final year though, but just take that decision that, okay, you want to actually do better, and you do better. Thank you very much.
Please, a round of applause for all our panelists. Please, a round of applause. Keep clapping, keep clapping. So, thank you very much. And just to summarize, we've touched on all personal stories. We've looked at success, we've looked at failure, we've looked at mental health as well. What do you do when you fail? When you go there and you're expecting A and you see D, what do you do? So special thank you to all members of the panel too. I'll pray for indulgence because of time. We'll ask only one question. So if you have a question for any member of the panel, you signify and the mic will be brought to you. So if there are any questions, or if there's any question, you signify and the mic will be brought to you. So in the absence of that, panel, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you very much.